No longer a brother, Harry shakes as William files a lawsuit against Sussex for defamation and lying in a British court. Hello friends, welcome to the breaking royal news about the notorious hypocritical couple Harry and Meghan Markle on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. A source is reporting that William secretly got all of Harry's libel evidence in the book Spare because he was planning to take him to court. Now, does anybody believe this is really going to come to be? We have talked to outsiders and we have tried to take an unbiased look at this royal fight, with some judging that the royals are certainly going to sue Harry for smearing their reputation, but some people are worried that they simply did not have enough evidence to convict Harry. One person commented, "If there is any defamation or falsehood in the book, I am sure the royal family can sue if they wish to." However, I very much doubt there is any defamation or falsehood in the book. The publisher's lawyers will have gone through it very carefully, making sure that Harry can verify everything he has said, because if there is anything defamatory or false in the book, it's not just Harry who can be sued, but also the publishers of the book. But there is a fact that the royal family has to acknowledge, and that is that no one in the royal family would really want to testify in court. It's a pretty important issue. It's humiliating if the royal family decides to be embarrassed, and my impression is that a lot of what Harry spouts is not entirely accurate, or there wouldn't be multiple versions of the same story. Harry is the one who should be ashamed, but I don't think he can be. I am so proud of the royal family's response thus far. My experience is that the only way to deal with these types of situations is to completely ignore them. Unless, of course, they cross the line and really do commit a crime, in which case they should be arrested. Or maybe if a psychiatrist decides that one or both are mentally disturbed and remands them to a facility for evaluation, well, that's another possibility. The thing is, all things really are possible, but there cannot possibly be anything else to spill. So I would suggest the best thing to do would be to quietly close the door on Harry so that he never has access ever again to another piece of information, no matter how trivial. Harry needs to be completely excluded from all aspects of royal family life, big state occasions too, and even the private family ones. The much-loved members of the family need to be quietly put to a stop. And one possibility, if the royal family decided to sue, is that Harry and Meghan would probably file a countersuit and things would get even worse. Clearly, Harry never really considered the endgame in this whole situation. What is going to happen when Meghan blows through all his money? What's going to happen when she leaves him and he's broke? Could Harry even afford to hire good lawyers, or would he even know where to look for one, considering that he has had a bat phone at his disposal for every little thing his whole life? Harry just broadcasts so much unnecessary and really quite dangerous information about his family to the whole world. By far, the best thing the royal family can do in response is to do nothing at all. So that would indicate the dreadful duo is not really important and they're simply not worth the effort. To be ignored is going to drive them crazy, and hopefully that's going to be the end of them. Or another option is that King Charles could use his mother's expression, "recollections may vary," and he could just leave it at that. But it's time for the royal family to just shut the two of them out and move on with their lives. The royal family avoids any kind of lawsuits as much as they possibly can, and I'm afraid this situation is just not worth it. Harry and Meghan have already hung themselves for the world to see. We can already see that both of them have some very severe mental health problems that they have to address. Now, eventually, it may be that an intervention is necessary for Harry. I do think that Parliament, though, needs to take away those titles as soon as possible. And as much as we want to believe that there is no dirt left to spill, it's not very likely. See, this is Meghan's mission in life. She doesn't have anything else. She is a nobody. And she's going to continue to try to do as much damage as she possibly can for more attention and more money if she thinks she can get it. So it is time to take away the titles. One viewer weighed in, commenting, "I think the royal family knows how to behave in public and will understand that the more time that passes, the more people will understand how toxic Harry and Meghan are. They have very little to gain by suing them. They certainly don't need the money, and they will have seen the fallout for celebrities when they take their personal battles to court." And see, I don't think anybody really has a solid defamation case anyway. It all gets pretty complicated with people who are considered to be public figures. So the deal is, public figures or public officials who sue for defamation have to meet a much higher legal standard. They have to prove that a defendant really did act with malice by clear and convincing evidence in order to recover. And they don't want to get all tangled up in that kind of mess. I mean, can you imagine all of them having to come to court to testify? Never gonna happen. Now, Harry's revelations have certainly been embarrassing, but from what I have seen, it's all such petty stuff. Harry's just recalling some private, personal, intimate conversations that he had with family members, and that is certainly a betrayal of trust. Now, I have read some people say that King Charles might forgive him, but I don't think anybody believes that William is going to. I think Harry is going to end up iced out of his family. In spite of his insistence that he wants his father and brother back, Harry has also said that he expects his family to apologize. And I think he wants public apologies too, and we know that's never going to happen. One spectator made an interesting suggestion. They said, what remedy would they be seeking or attempting to accomplish by filing a lawsuit in the King's Bench civil courts, when they are themselves the royals and enjoy certain royal prerogative privileges? I mean, short of them drowning him in a butt of Malmsey wine for unnatural loathy treasons, which it certainly seems he's done at least as much as what George, Duke of Clarence did, and aggravated by the fact that Prince Harry is Prince William's brother, who, if anyone does, owes his brother loyalty and love. The Spectator continued, saying, when it comes to royal internal beef, since most of the remedies we think about are things that royals don't apply to them, it means to obtain their remedies they could just do so by royal decree by stripping him of everything they have given him, which would pretty much be everything he has, except maybe the salacious book's profits and all their other things recently put out by trashing the family that gave him everything he ever had before this. Just as the crown can giveth, the crown can taketh away. However, I just thought of something. Maybe this is why Harry is going so hog wild with all this. He knows he's already ostracized, and now it's just whether they will strip him of all his royal privileges like money, and give him a golden parachute devoid of royal attachment like he wants his very own unencumbered nest egg. Some people strongly believe that the royal family cannot file a lawsuit in court for some negative reason. First, they'd have to prove Harry lied, which they really can't do when it comes to private meetings and conversations. Recollections may vary, as the Queen famously said, but that doesn't make Harry's recollections lies. Then they'd have to prove Harry's motives were malicious, which they also can't do in the face of the concerted media smear campaign against Harry and Meghan, which the palaces have aided and abetted. It's more than believable that Harry's motives were to tell the truth as he saw it in order to defend himself and his wife. He has every right to do so. Then Charles, William, Camilla, Catherine, and any other royal involved in the lawsuit would be deposed under oath, which is something they'd want to avoid at all costs. Maybe we'd see Jason Knopf on the stand under oath. Charles and William have every reason to fear what Knopf would be forced to admit about his complicity, and theirs in leaking false stories about Harry and Meghan to the tabloids. The Spectator concludes, saying lastly they'd have to prove Harry's memoir caused the family tangible damage. If Edward VIII's abdication, Charles and Camilla's scandalous history, and Andrew's antics didn't damage the monarchy enough to take action over, Harry's memoir shouldn't even cause them a few sleepless nights. Interesting perspective. And what about you? What do you think of a lawsuit between the royal family and Harry? Please let us know what you think below in the comments section. We hope you have found our video helpful. And don't forget to leave us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back to see you in the next videos. Bye bye now.